All right, Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, Lake Okeechobee, one of the most famous lakes in the world, hands down for bass fishing. Difference is this time we have 2 days of practice, one of the biggest lakes you can imagine. Lake Okeechobee is huge. Trying to break it down in 2 days, how do you do that? Well, I looked at it as there's north and there's south. And I knew that I wanted to go check the south end of the lake just for the fact that if it is on, you can win down there. If it's not on, you go north. So day one of practice, I'm running around the south end of the lake, just driving, looking for something, anything and everything. And I pull in, I see some little opening that kind of goes back into a little pond area. And I roll right up to the mouth of it. I think it might be my second cast in there. I catch a 4-pounder. Oh, Jesus Christ. Four and a half. Move in. Throw back again, catch like a 2.5. I'm like, all right. Okay. Down with that. And then I go back inside these little ponds, and I had maybe 8 or 9 bites in that little pond. I was like, all right, there's fish, found a spot. Somebody broke them off, or I guess they should. There's a hook down his throat. For pre-fishing, I want to keep casting and see where I get bit, but I don't want to catch them. I've got an owner screw lock spring. So now I've got my screw lock. So now I can get bites on it, but not hook them. I think I went about 8 more hours without a bite. Right at the tail end of the day, I ran into this another little lake, and it had big open water, some isolated reed clumps out there, and 4.5 foot of water, and I had not fished that deep all day. And literally the last hour of the day, I went around just fishing a bladed jig on these little isolated clumps, and I had maybe 6, 7, 8 bites, you know, just males, 1.5 pound, 2-pound males, but I was like, hey, I found an area to get some bites. Never had a big bite, but I was like, all right, I got something. If I need to fish here, I will fish here. Right on that point. Day one's in the books of practice. For the most part, it was really slow today, but the evening bite, I got a little pattern on some isolated stuff in this area that I'm in now, and I don't know if they're post-spawn, pre-spawn, coming or going. Maybe it gives me some idea to what to look for tomorrow, but day one is done. It's supposed to be sunny, calm, 84 degrees. This will be the day for bedfish to pull up on a lot of stuff. I decided I'm gonna go to the north end of the lake. I launch in Clewiston, and I run the whole side of the lake, the west shore, all the way north up to Okeechobee City. And usually like the area I like to fish, which is between Monkey Box and Okeechobee, there's lots of shoreline in there, but I get up into my favorite little areas, and it is boat after boat after boat after boat. And I'm trying to fish, and I'm like having a total anxiety attack. I'm like, and the thing is, when you fish Lake Okeechobee, if you're not fishing around other fishermen, you're not around the fish. The fishermen tell you where the fish are. And I'm always the one that's trying to find something that's away from everybody that I can fish by myself. But I actually did get off the beaten path, and I found a couple little areas, and I had one little bay where I had 3 big bites. I'm like, that's cool. I didn't stick 2 of them. I didn't have a hook on, and I hit one on a bladed jig, and I saw it. It was like a 6, 7 pounder. I'm like, whoa. All right, so I got excited. I found something up north I can run to, and I can get in the crowd and maybe fish a few. Oh, I came off into this. You know, just catch a few fish here, a few fish there. But ultimately, I did not like how many guys were fishing up north. I wanted to find something that had less pressure. I'm still deciding, do I want to go north? Do I want to go south? Where am I going to go? We're getting a south wind, so when you get a good south wind, it pulls clean water out of the marsh in the south end, pulls it further out in the lake, makes the north end muddy. Vice versa, if it's blowing out of the north, south end gets muddy, and then it sucks that clean water further out into the reeds and things on the north end of the lake. north, south. I said, I'm gonna go where there's less people, I believe, I'm hoping. And so I go down south. Didn't know what to expect. I just like, let me go down here, see what I can catch. If it doesn't work, I can still run north. It was calm enough, I didn't have to battle waves. I can go call an audible, plan B, go to where I had some big bites up there and hopefully catch a couple big ones if I need to. I roll into my first spot in the very first morning where I caught the first 4-pounder. I said, let me stop here first, catch a 4-pounder. Yes. This is a great start. I go in my little pond where I had, more bites, but I had to work my butt off, and I think I caught 2 or 3 more fish in there at all. I was like, uh-oh, maybe these fish are already moved out. What was going on? All right, so I spent like 3.5 hours there. Sorry, I give up. So I ran to the other area where I found some, had those bites in the deeper reeds and toolies. And I get there, and there's, 3 or 4 boats around. There's a couple guide boats, all right, but not too crazy. All right, so I get on my little isolated stuff, and the first little place I pull up to, boom, I catch one. Boom, I catch one. I catch one. Catch a little males. I'm like, all right, I got a limit. I'm culling. Life is good. So I went around and I fished, and I was flipping a general. I don't know, I caught maybe 10 or 15 fish, but no good ones. And I was like, man, I kind of given up on this. Let me run back to where I started this morning, try it, maybe there's an afternoon bite, roll up there. And I came in an opposite direction this one. So I run my trolling motor right up to that grass. So I'm casting it out and bringing it down this little trough there. And I get crushed. And I got about maybe 5 or 6 feet of this grass between my boat and the other side. Oh crap, and I got 15-pound test on, trilene 100% fluorocarbon. I was like, ugh! And I'm like, what do I do? I reach up there and I grab it. I'm like, sweet. I wind up weighing 1712, 16th place. I'm like, whew, that was a great start to Lake Okeechobee.
I caught a decent amount of fish. I lost a couple big ones. So there was potential of a 20-pound bag today. I'm tired. Gonna put it on the trailer, go make some dinner, have a glass of wine, chill. I deserve it.
We survived day 1, 17 pounds, 12 ounces. That's one of those things, man. It's like Saturday, like day 2s are always the toughest day because you're like trying to make sure you're positioned to get into the, day 3 and hopefully in position to get into day 4. Well, I got to start my morning spot. And I roll up there, I'm like, man, there's not as much wind, it was pretty calm, but I'm going anyways. Get lined up, here's my cast. I'm like, I'm waiting, man. It's like, because each time I've been here, it's been a 4-pounder. Crap, nothing. I go over another little cut over there. I catch one, I'm like, yeah, I got one. And it just, like, that was it, that was over. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna stay here this long. So I ran to where I had been, fished all day, most of the day on day 1. The bite was noticeably a little slower. Everybody kind of fished the same stuff the day before. But I'm like, all right, let me just slow down, start fishing. And I just start fishing really slow. That general's down there just boom, 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 boom. So I catch a few, and I get to this little outside clump. What? Oh, that's a big one. Just I'm like, this is a giant. It looked like a 10-pounder would jump. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I'm jacked up. I'm like, man, I almost want to boat flip this thing. I'm like, woo! 8-pound, 8-ounce tank. I'm like, I can handle that. I love that. I'm jacked up. I got giant in the bag already. I fish around, catch a limit. Let me go back out to the rim canal, try some stuff out there. And the wind was pushing right in this little pocket, perfect. I throw up there, bladed jig, catch 2.5. All right, a cold one out. Make another cast up there, 5-pounder. I went from 16th place to 2nd place.
Yeah, I came into the season, fishing the Bass Pro Tour and the Pro Circuit. My goal is to win. I set a benchmark to try and win 2 tournaments this year, qualify for Red Crest, qualify for the title event, and hopefully put myself in position for an Angler of the Year title. So last season I started fishing good, and I felt good about what my decision making on the water. So hopefully I'll just keep making good decisions and everything will flow.
Had 21 pounds yesterday, caught 8.5, made a big difference. But good God, I hope I get some of them big bites again, because, but we got different conditions. You know, I was thinking about a secondary game plan, but if I can catch, 15 to 17, keeps me in contention to make it to Sunday and have a chance to win. So I get out there, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just fish slow and thorough and kind of, just go through all this.
I figure I'm gonna try again.
I crawled through that stuff and I'm picking it apart, boom, boom. I had 3 fish.
Yeah, boy. Oh.
Three fish, I believe, up till about 3 o'clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, right now, I am not going to make it to Sunday. And I'm like, it's too late to run anywhere. I'm like, where I'd been fishing, I'm like, all right, this is not working. So I went around to another area where I actually had my first couple bites in practice, first day of practice, and isolated toolies, and they're out deeper. Might catch a 2.5. I got 4. I'm like, all right. It felt like it had been 12 hours since I had a bite, but it's probably 5 hours. And I go a little bit further. I catch a 4-pounder. I'm like, yes! I was so jacked up at that point in time. Then I actually caught another one. I culled one out. Dude, I just pulled out in the last 15 minutes of fishing for me. I caught my limit, got myself up 16 pounds, put myself back in it. And when I was thinking, there's no chance, made a little adjustment, changed area, and I catch the fish to move me on to Championship Sunday. Not bad. I'm only like 1.5 pounds out of the lead, but I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Dude, I'm in 3rd place, Lake Okeechobee. I've got a shot at winning the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit Major League Fishing season opener, so hell yeah. Championship Sunday. Woo, that's what we play for, kids. Anything you do, competitive, you want to win. And I want to win more than you have any idea. I have no idea what to expect. The wind was ripping out of the south, so my stuff up north is not an option. One, there's probably like 4-footers just crashing into what I want to fish. There's no it's going to be muddy. So I'm going to stay with what I know, what got me to Sunday, and just see what happens. I roll into the area, and I started where I ended on day 3, where I had a couple bites. Pick up a general, donk, donk, donk. I'm like, oh, they're biting today. This is awesome, finally. And I start fishing around and going out into some deeper stuff, and there's a shoreline over there that I had not touched all week. Wind's pushing, a little bit of breeze, pushing right up into it. I'm like, I'm just pre-fishing right now, just staying open-minded to try and figure out how to catch something. And I'm like, I'm thinking I'm gonna flip, but it just sets up perfect. I mean, a little bit of breeze, it's warm. Man, that bladed jig, if I can make it like that, it'd be so much more fun, so much easier to cover water. I don't go 15 more feet, fire that bladed jig right along a little toolie line there. 5-pounder. Yeah! Yeah! I got a limit. Yeah, man, I'm not fishing very long. Cameraman's there, I'm like, yeah, dude, show, woohoo! Put the fish on the live well, next cast, like 3 turns of the handle, oh, Jesus, 5-pounder. Another one, back to back 5. Did that just happen? Didn't even know if I was gonna get a bite too. I just jacked 2 5s, I got a limit. I'm like, man, I get a couple more good bites, I'm in this. 20 more feet. I catch another keeper, I go like 50 more feet. I'm like, a little open area, little pocket, wind's pushing there. Good God. I get my hands on it. 7-pounder. I had 3 5s, a 7, 3-pounder, and a live well. I'm like, and this is like no time at all. So I'm like, let me go back down the bank. Another 5-pounder. Yes! In an hour's time, I jacked 27 pounds. It seemed like every bite I had was a big one. I felt like somebody could catch me and just crush my heart. I'm like, if I weigh 27 pounds and I get beat today, I'll be happy for the guy that did it because he flat out beat me, but I will absolutely be crushed too at the same time because I had the most amazing hour of fishing you could ever experience in tournament fishing, and to put myself in position to win one. And that's so hard to do because Chris Lane is an absolute hammer on Lake Okeechobee. Wait till you see this tank. Good God, it's huge. His weights kept going bump, 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 up and up. And he told me on day 3 he lost 2 giants. And I'm like, oh man, don't want him jacking big ones.
Wow, a 4-bass limit!
I'm like, do I have enough? And I'm thinking that I've had the best day you could ever possibly want out there.
27 pounds and 9 ounces! Wow! 27 pounds!
I'm like, oh, please, please, please.
7 ounces! Your champion is Skeet Reese!
Yeah! Boom, boom! That's how you start 2021, right there. It's been a lot of hard work. It's been a few years since I've been in position to close one out like that and actually close it out. I was more excited to come and fish this year, and to be able to come to Okeechobee and get a W is priceless right now. It's just, you know, I'm 50 going on 52 years old. I feel like I'm 12 in my head. My body says I'm about 24, but it's rewarding. We play, you don't fish, compete at any level unless you try to win. To win on this lake, it's the best possible start I could get. It doesn't get any better than this. You never know how the season's gonna go. And I've had some great seasons in my career, and I've had some, not so great seasons, but I did exactly what I needed to do the first tournament. I got the win. I got the max amount of points. I got a nice fat check, and now we'll move on to the next one, and it'll be a completely different event than this. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this tournament recap from Lake Okeechobee. If you find it valuable and you like my channel, make sure you like, subscribe, Skeet Reese Fishing. Was that like an hour of just chaos, like fun?